Hi, welcome to day 7. So hopefully you've watched the intro to focus video before this one because they flow one into the other. So today I want you to think about temptation. Quite often people think about temptation, they're talking about, the end of the aisle in the supermarket with the latest chocolate bar that you've never tried, stuff like that. Temptation is not necessarily in terms of food, but if we're thinking about your health and fitness goals, it might very well be. But I'm actually more concerned in order to actually achieve things that I'm setting out to do with health and fitness for myself, or in business, or at home, or with family, or whatever, any goal. The biggest thing that's getting in the way of it is distractions. And so, I don't know if you've read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. If not, that would be another one. Maybe I should write a reading list at the end of this challenge, but that's a really good book. Obviously, it's all about building habits. And the reason he calls it Atomic Habits is because that implies really small things. And so his whole book is all about achieving big results by making small changes and little small habits and subtle things, not great big wholesale shifts. So, but he talks about physically engineering your environment. So if you're mostly in the house, then it could be at home, and if you're in an office a lot, then it can be your workstation, whatever you like. But physically thinking about whether your environment supports these goals that you've set for yourself or not. So if we think about food for a minute, I mean, if you live as part of a family like I do, just because I'm trying to maybe reduce the kind of snacky foods that aren't helping me achieve my goal, doesn't mean that other members of the family aren't. But there are still ways that you can engineer it so that either the serving sizes, the pack sizes that you buy, or where you physically keep them in the house might be helping or hindering. So habits in terms of attention and focus, which is obviously the name of this section, I had to spend a bit of time engineering like my desktop and my phone screens to try to make the things that I do want to do easier, slicker, more obvious, almost unavoidable, and the things that I want to try not to do a bit harder to get at. So a bit like having one of those biscuit tins with a time lock on it. You can just take apps off your phone and just have them on. I've got some things that are only on my laptop, so that's just that little bit harder to constantly look at, and I have to go there purposefully and log on. Or it can even be, you can just pattern interrupt. If you've got a bad habit of constantly picking your phone up and wasting 10 minutes here and there by going around in circles checking all your apps, maybe just put them on. They're not on your home screen, just tuck them away, turn off the notifications, stuff like that. I'm probably telling you to suck eggs, but these are things that you could actually try instead of just thinking that I heard someone did that once in the back of my head. So what else did I do? I've done quite a lot of decluttering, because I find that when my house is full of stuff, that is a stress. It's kind of like a looming sort of dull stress in the background, and it doesn't help me to concentrate, because I'll sit and I'll think, right, I'll get on with a task, and then I'll see a pile of stuff that needs putting away or whatever it is. I'm sure you live a similar existence to that. And I've also put in this section on Podia to try and notice barriers and obstacles. So let's say you keep planning to go for a run, right? And then you sort of don't get around to it, and then it's 4:30 and it's a bit late. The kids get home from school. You've got to start thinking about tea, and you just don't go. So we've talked previously about planning and time blocking, and trying to link the run itself to your values and priorities. How does it link to the things that are very important to you in life, to bring it up the priority list? But equally, you can just make it easier to go. So physically get out your running shoes and the right socks and the sports bra and the shorts or whatever it is you prefer to wear when you're running. Have a look at the weather forecast, get out any other layers that you need. All of that, you can do it the night before and have it sat there ready, so that it's not going to take 20 minutes before you can even get out the door to start. So that when you think, right, I've got time, I've got half an hour to go for my run, you can literally just go. Okay, I'm sure none of that's rocket science, but it all starts to add up, these little changes that you start to make. Okay, happy day 7, stick with it. Fill your journal in about changes you want to make to your home or workspace, physical ones. How can you engineer your environment for improvement?